Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to look at 6 players that you should be buying in your FPL teams. Whether you're on wildcard, whether you're just making transfers, this one is for you. So let's get straight into it. Right, the first one isn't like a sexy pick or anything by any means. This is a 4.5 million defender from Bournemouth. And as you can see, the numbers reflect that. No goals. He has actually managed to grab 1 assist in the first 3 games. 1 shot, none on target, no shots in the box. XG and XA are rubbish. Big chance created, big chances. It's all bad attacking. He's not some attacking defender. But we did all expect Bournemouth defence to be absolutely useless this season because they lost Huijsen, they lost Kerkez, they lost Sabani. They did lose their goalkeeper as well, but nobody particularly cared about that, I don't think, given that it was only Kepa. So we all expected the Bournemouth defence to be pretty useless. Now, it hasn't been as bad as we expected, especially given the fixtures. They played Liverpool already, and they really did hold their own against Liverpool, to be honest. Not so much defensively, in that they did concede quite a few goals, but going forward, they've been really good. But the main thing about Senesi here is the defensive contributions. Now, FPL have changed the scoring, changed the rules. They've introduced this defensive contribution points. Now, you get 2 points if you hit the threshold. The threshold's different for defenders than it is for the rest of the positions. But Marcus Senesi has 42 defensive contributions so far in these 3 games. That's an average of 14 per game, which is well over the threshold he needs to get the 2 points in each game. So this is the reason he's in this video. It's because of these defensive contributions. And don't get me wrong, that's not gonna get him to haul or anything. I mean, if he does grab a clean sheet and defensive contributions, then that is quite a haul, don't get me wrong. But the more likely scenario is that they don't keep a clean sheet and he grabs defensive contributions. Now, obviously, it's only 2 points, but it's much better if the floor for these guys is 3 or 4 points and the ceiling, it really isn't that high for a centre-back, let's be honest. But it's better than the floor being 1 or 2 points than, like I say, for Senesi, it's probably 3 or 4 points. If he's going to be hitting defensive contributions in most games, he will tick along with quite a few points. Now, like I say, it's been an average of 14 per game so far. If that carries on, then for 4.5 million, he's great value. We've seen these other defensive contribution monsters like Tarkowski, Lacroix. They're priced higher, 5.5 million, 5 million. If we can get one for 4.5 million, then why wouldn't we want to do that? The fixtures aren't too bad either. Brighton at home, Newcastle at home, Leeds away, Fulham at home, Crystal Palace away. None of those scream kind of thrashings or anything. So if you are in the market for a defender, if you're on wildcard maybe, then a 4.5 million option, a real nice budget option, is Senesi. Okay, next up we're looking at another defender, and it's Daniel Muñoz. I mentioned him last week. I'll keep mentioning him. He is fantastic. So 5.5 million, which is a bit more than he was last year, but I think it's completely warranted, to be honest. He is a fantastic option. Now, the numbers aren't exactly great here. 2 big chances created though in 3 games is actually very good. The rest of the numbers don't mean loads. I mean, the XA is okay. The rest of the numbers, like I say, is nothing to write home about realistically. However, Crystal Palace have been really good this season so far. They are currently unbeaten. They're one of 3 teams that are unbeaten, along with Chelsea and Liverpool. They've also had European fixtures on Thursday nights during these last couple of weeks, and they've played their first 11 in both of those games pretty much. Bar 1 or 2 changes, it's been their first 11. Now, we did expect, or I certainly expected, a bit of fatigue, kind of maybe them to drop off in their performance against Aston Villa, but they didn't at all. We've kind of seen that those European fixtures won't have a massive impact on Palace. Not yet anyway. They may going forward, but right now it looks completely fine. The fixtures are good. Sunderland at home, West Ham away. Those next 2 are wonderful. Liverpool at home is obviously not great, but then it's Everton away and Bournemouth at home. So in general, the next 5 fixtures are really, really nice. And that Liverpool at home game is in Gameweek 6, which is a popular week for a free hit. I myself am planning a free hit in Gameweek 6. If you have a team that has Liverpool players like Salah, but no Man City players, if you don't have Haaland, for example, then a free hit in game week 6 makes complete sense because they play Burnley. It means that you can free hit, get Haaland in, captain him for Burnley, but don't have to kind of make loads of moves to move your team around to fit Haaland in. Also, if you've got these Palace players, it means you can free hit them out for Liverpool at home, and then you've got them for Sunderland, West Ham, Everton, Bournemouth. It just makes sense for a lot of people's teams, I think. One other thing we saw, I don't think this is going to be a regular thing, but against Aston Villa, when Ismaila Sarr went off injured, we did see Nathaniel Klein come on at right wing back, and Daniel Muñoz went into the more attacking position that Sarr usually plays in, the right kind of 10 winger slot. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think we're going to see this regularly, but even if we get it for 10, 15 minutes at the end of a game, it's unbelievable for a defender to be that attacking. So, like I said, I mentioned him last week. I just think he is a fantastic option at 5.5 million. There is kind of a decent way to get him as well. If you've got maybe Murillo or Porro, don't get me wrong, Forest and Spurs do have nice fixtures coming up as well, but there is a world where you could move one of them onto Daniel Muñoz. Okay, next up we're looking at Jack Grealish. Now, not only is his shirt wrong there, but the fixtures down there are also wrong. That's based on Manchester City still. The fixtures for the next 5 are Aston Villa at home, Liverpool away, West Ham at home, Crystal Palace at home, and Man City away. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, really. However, Jack Grealish is at a price point where you can probably bench him in a couple of games if you need to. So Aston Villa at home in game week 4 looks really nice, given how bad Aston Villa have been recently. The first 3 games of the season, they've been horrific. Palace put 3 past them, obviously. So love that fixture for him. Liverpool away, not great, of course, but you can potentially bench him in game week 5. Then you've got West Ham at home, great fixture. Crystal Palace at home, that's an okay fixture, not anything special. And then Man City away is obviously a bad fixture. He's got Spurs, Sunderland, Fulham, so it kind of continues to be a mixed bag for Everton, really. But Jack Grealish has been sensational since he's come in to Everton. Game week 1, he didn't start, but he came on. And then game week 2 and 3, he has started and been brilliant. You can see there, 4 assists in 2 starts is a joke. 4 shots, 1 on target, 3 shots in the box. The XA is 1.29. That's wonderful from 2 starts. Big chances 1, big chances created 2. He's just been absolutely fantastic. Kind of, if we're talking non-FPL, this transfer just makes so much sense for him, given that it's a World Cup year. He'll want to get back into the England squad. So moving to Everton has been a fantastic thing for him. And I just can't see this stopping, really. We saw last season that Everton were good defensively, not so much in attack. However, it seems to have switched this season at the moment, certainly while Branthwaite's out anyway. Whenever Branthwaite's out, Everton really struggle defensively. But going forward, the inclusion or the introduction, of Dewsbury, Hall and Grealish has really transformed this attack. That front 3, or the 3 behind the striker of Grealish, Dewsbury, Hall and Ndai, looks really nice. All 3 of them are great fantasy options, I believe. So if you're on wildcard, or if you're even just looking for a Sarr replacement potentially, I think Jack Grealish is a really nice option, and so do many others. He's got nearly 1 million transfers in at the time of recording this, so yeah, fantastic option. Moving on to the first of the 3 strikers that I will be talking about in this video, and it's João Pedro. Now, he has 2 goals, 2 assists so far to his name this season in 3 appearances. At the beginning of the season, I wasn't that keen on him as a fantasy option. Things have changed now, and the things that have changed are, firstly, that Liam Delap is injured. So I expected basically João Pedro to start most games up front, and then Liam Delap would get, say, 30 minutes at the end. Maybe even with a random rogue Delap start. However, what we did see in game week 2, even before Palmer's injury, what we saw is that João Pedro was going to play in the number 10 with Cole Palmer on the right and Liam Delap up top. I didn't expect that to be a thing. That boosted João Pedro's minutes massively, because that meant that he was either going to start up top, and then even if he did start up top and Delap came on, he could move back to the 10 potentially, or he was going to start with Delap. I didn't expect either of those things particularly. So that does change things. Even if Palmer's fit, I don't really have an issue with that anymore because João Pedro will play up top, or like what was going to happen against West Ham, João Pedro in the 10 and Palmer on the right. Either way, it makes João Pedro a fantastic option. Chelsea look really good this season. I was expecting Chelsea to be good this season. If you watched any of my pre-season videos, you know I mentioned that, and they do. They look good. The fixtures are a bit of a mixed bag. Brentford away this week I think is really good. Man United away I don't hate. Brighton at home is also pretty good. Liverpool at home, Forest away not so much. But I think he's kind of the type of player now who will be pretty much fixture proof. I don't really think we need to worry about him, especially given that he should get good minutes now. The numbers are there. You've got 2 goals, 2 assists, 8 shots in 3 games. 3 on target is okay. 6 shots in the box, not bad at all. The XG is really good. 2 big chances created. He's just doing everything we want from a fantasy perspective. So I think even if his price keeps going up, I just still think he's a really good option. I think he's a solid option that we don't really need to worry about going forward. Like I say, the fixtures are a mixed bag, but I think you can just play him in any single fixture. And I think Chelsea are going to be good enough that even the bad fixtures won't be that bad. I still think they can cause teams trouble like Liverpool, like the Cities. I still think that they won't be that bad of fixtures for them. So João Pedro is just a great option going forward. Okay, moving on to the next forward, and it's the second Palace player in this video, Jean-Philippe Mateta. Now, he is someone that, if you watch my team selection video, he's someone that I mentioned I was thinking about bringing in for Game Week 3, but I didn't. I saved that transfer, and I'm likely to bring him in for Game Week 4 in my team. Now, that's mainly due to the fixtures, because it's Sunderland at home up next, then it's West Ham away, then I'm probably free hitting in Game Week 6, so I missed that Liverpool game, and then it's Everton, Bournemouth. So the fixtures really are there, as I mentioned when we were talking about Muñoz. And it just looks like him and Palace are both going to carry on the way they did last season. Attacking, going forward, they're very good. Even without Eze, without Sarr, I still think Mateta will be fine. Obviously, it's not ideal. But without Eze, we saw they were fine against Aston Villa, albeit Aston Villa kind of were very, very weak. But I still think he's going to be fine. He's only got 1 goal so far in 3 games, but I'm not too worried about that because shots on target, shots in the box, XG are all good. They're actually relatively similar to João Pedro's numbers, who's got 2 goals and 2 assists. So don't think we need to worry too much about that. 2 big chances for Mateta so far as well. I think that if you've already got João Pedro and you're looking for someone at that price range, or even if you haven't got João Pedro, I for example, don't have João Pedro, I'm more likely to go for Mateta over him, I think, just because the fixtures are much better. And you've obviously got Mateta is definitely on penalties, which for me is a big plus point. So I think if you're looking for a striker at that price point, I don't think you can go wrong with Mateta at all. Okay, and lastly, we've got the big talking point of the transfer window, the big talking point of the deadline day. Alexander Isak has now moved from Newcastle to Liverpool. Obviously, all these numbers mean nothing because he hasn't played a game yet. The fixtures there are Newcastle's fixtures, so ignore them. The fixtures for Liverpool are Burnley away, Everton at home, Crystal Palace away, Chelsea away, Man United at home. So the next 2 or even maybe 3 fixtures are really, really nice. And that, I guess, is why nearly 500,000 people have brought him in already ahead of Game Week 4. I am personally not as keen on this move for Game Week 4 anyway. I think going forward, he's just a fantastic option, obviously. Liverpool are the best attack in the league. Isak, along with Haaland and maybe Watkins, was the best forward in the league last season. So I don't think there's much wrong with going for Isak going forward. However, he hasn't played any pre-season minutes at all. He hasn't played any minutes in the league this season. He hasn't played any football since May. So obviously he's more likely been training, although probably not been training with the first team at Newcastle. I just think that he will go away with Sweden now, and I have no doubt that he'll probably start in both of Sweden's games. I'm recording this before Sweden have played any of their games, but I'm just not sure that, given he won't have any time at Liverpool before that Game Week 4 fixture against Burnley, and the way that Liverpool are playing going forward with Ekitike, Gakpo, Salah, has kind of worked. Wirtz and Salah haven't been that great, but the other two have. So I just can't see Liverpool changing that for Burnley at least anyway. I guess against Everton he probably does come in, but against Burnley I would expect him to start on the bench and probably get minutes towards the end of the game. I don't think he'll start. Maybe he will, but I don't think he'll start. So I don't think we need to rush to get him this week. I think we can wait till game week 5 to see how many minutes he gets in game week 4. Anyway, that is all for this video. If you did like it, make sure you hit like, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.